Good afternoon and welcome to Teleislas News with the most important news of the day. Congress passed unanimously Conciliation 328 of 2020, creating a stamp for the National University Caribbean campus.
The project will open new opportunities for young people who aspire to higher education, which in turn will improve the economy of the archipelago.
This project is important because it allows the establishment of better resources for the university's Caribbean branch, which, through the Special Admissions and Academic Mobility program, allows young people to complete their studies in the territory of their choice. Likewise, this allows more places and access to higher education and will also guarantee, once approved by the Departmental Assembly, the support of young people whose parents sometimes have them take a break in their careers because they do not have the resources.
Having more availability for registration as well as opportunities, the young people of the entire archipelago will be able to have more resources that will allow them to successfully complete their university careers with the highest quality standards.
And after 3 days of the fair, Anato concludes with the objective achieved for the archipelago. The Secretary of Tourism, Jonathan Taylor, gave details on the matter.
We have had more than 2,500 visits in these 3 days that we have been present at this 44th Anato showcase. The objective was met, and we are optimistic and that all these visits can be transformed into business opportunities for the archipelago, which can contribute to the economic and tourism development of the island.
Taylor added that nothing was left in worse, since commitments were established such as the infusion of resources to invest in tourism and much more. In addition, the showcase was full of colors, dances, gastronomy, and every point that highlights the archipelago as a biosphere reserve, as well as sun and beach destination preferred by many national and international tourists.
And today marked 5 days of the mass vaccination day in the department, an initiative that seeks that the island reaches herd immunity. Here is more information on how many doses have been applied during these days.
During the first 4 days of the mass vaccination, 16,640 doses have been applied, which is equivalent to 53% of the 30% Sinovac vaccines assigned to the island for this mass vaccination. The local government invites all citizens to get immunized. We talked to the people who told us the reason why they decided to get vaccinated on the last day, and we find within their arguments misinformation and fear to get immunized.
I left it until the last day to get vaccinated because it is the last day of rest that I have. I thought it would be more crowded, but I saw that things are speeding up well. It is being done as it should be.
Actually, at the beginning, I was uninformed, but later my relative encouraged me to come. The process is super fast. It took about 2 minutes. I invite everyone to get vaccinated so that we are all well and we get out of this pandemic as quickly as possible. I was afraid because I have high blood pressure issue. I was undecided, but I came. It was very fast. The attention was very good. They explained where to go, and I didn't take long.
The local government invites all citizens to come to the convention center of the Teleislas to be immunized against COVID-19 so that the Department of San Andres can become the first territory in Colombia to achieve herd immunity, a situation that will help the economy recovery.
And the human talent that cares for and protects children and adolescents continues to receive immunization against COVID-19 in a joint work between official institutions.
In an interview with Teleislas News, the director of the Colombian Institute of Family and Welfare highlights the work that has been done to immunize all workers of the institution. She also recalled the importance of heeding the call made by the government to not to fail the commitment to contribute to the mitigation of the pandemic in the country.
Since the month of December, the President of the Republic announced that community mothers and educational agents and staff of the Colombian Institute of Family Welfare, those from the Protection protection of family defenders and also those who are in the emergency groups and care for the protection and guarantee of children's rights were prioritized in phase 3. This began about a month ago, first with 10, and we have made significant progress because more than 36,000 educational agents and community mothers have already been vaccinated. And the message is to continue with the process of vaccination, protection, and self-care.
The vaccination process of these news professionals who are part of the Colombian Institute of Family Welfare was organized jointly with the territorial entity.
And in other news, the number of people is decreasing who have decided to take advantage of the mass vaccination in the archipielago department. Why has this happened? Our journalist Silbeth Mitchell-Archibald is at the vaccination point. Silbeth, good afternoon. What is the government saying about this decrease?
Hello, Lisa, televiewers. Good afternoon. Well, yes, we was talking a while ago with the Secretary of Health. But before, I want to give a short little balance of how the vaccination process going in our department. The first day, San Andres super rate is 7,000 people vaccinated. The second day, 5,216 persons get vaccinated. The third day, 2,710. And yesterday, the fourth day, 1,664 persons get vaccinated. According to the Secretary of Health, they have 1,000 excuses why the community don't want to get vaccinated and make use of the vaccination process.
The first day was because they did not trust the departmental government or the Ministry of Health that we were able to overcome the agglomeration of the first day. But by showing that in one day, the large line of more than 1,500 people was evacuated, we demonstrated that we have been able to do it. What the community of San Andres has not been able to do is respond and understand the importance of vaccination. Vaccination is the only way at this time to stop the pandemic.
Our care will notice that the last day, the 5th day of the mass vaccination process. So that is why the Secretary of Health invite the community, the people that don't get their first dose yet, to come out and get vaccinated and make use of this great opportunity for the department.
Very good information, Silbeth. But well, if the goal and target of vaccinating 30,000 people are not met, what will happen to the surplus doses? Will they be returned?
Okay, well, Lisa, in turn of this question you asked, according to the Secretary of Health, they will leave this vaccine. But if the Minister of Health require this vaccine and need this vaccine for other departments, and well, our department don't make use of it or don't apply them well, they will have to just send it to those who need it.
Well, the vaccines will remain on the island, but should in case the Ministry of Health sees the need of another population with a similar number of vaccines and we are not able to take and apply these doses, they will ask for them and they will take them. We are aware that we have more than 3,400 cases of COVID in the last months and that these vaccines have to be reserved for these people until they pass their COVID-19 period. There are also students who are in different universities in the country who can either get vaccinated in the prioritization stage in the city where they are or when they return on a weekend to the island.
The Secretary of Health emphasized in one thing: they don't going to expand or extend this mass vaccination process. The mass vaccination process here in San Andres going on today.
The mass vaccination ends today. Statistically, it ends today. There is no more day until 28 days from now when the second dose will be applied. We will start with the same logistics and the rest will follow the vaccination post provided by the departmental SA or social state enterprise.
Well, finally, the Secretary manifested that one person that don't get the first dose of the Sinovac vaccine get COVID after don't get the first dose. They're going to have to wait 90 days to get the second dose of the vaccine Sinovac. This is all information, Lisa, from here from the Centro de Convenciones, from the Isleño Hotel. Silbeth Mitchell-Archibald for Teleislas News.
Thank you, Silbeth. And in other news, in a press conference, the Deputy Commander of the Police Department of San Andres announced that an important capture was achieved that clarifies one of the 2 murders that occurred during the weekend in our department.
The capture was for the person who, with a firearm, killed the man known as Jefferson Fernandez, fact that occurred in the early hours of Sunday morning in Morris Landing.
Primero, la Policía Nacional logra la importante captura.
The police of the department made the important capture in flagrante delicto for the crime of homicide of an individual identified as Carlos Cáceres, resident of the neighborhood of Morris Landing, and who, with a firearm, killed the gentleman identified as Jefferson Fernandez. The latter was in a residence where he was gunned down with a pistol-type firearm caliber 9mm.
The deputy commander said that thanks to the information provided and the timely reaction of the officer, this capture was achieved. He also referred to the murder that occurred on Saturday in Matlina Hill sector.
Se inicia un plan candado para tratar de dar con los homicidas de.
A padlock plan is initiated to find the whereabouts of the murderers of Mr. Edison Alejandro Villaboy, better known by the alias of Crab, who was killed by 3 gunshot wounds. An institutional vehicle takes this young man to the hospital where he dies due to the severity of these shots.
The deputy commander stated that they are carrying out all the investigation of these cases and that due to the confidentiality of the summary, they cannot provide details of this event. However, they stated that the investigation are well underway to clarifying the facts. They also stated that if the community wants to provide information about the facts, they are also welcome to do so.
And now let's get to know other facts that are making news in our brief news sections of today.
The Secretariat of Tourism made a call to providers and tour operators to go to the point of mass vaccination to be immunized against COVID-19. The head of this office went to the main points of tourist affluence to talk to the community that is dedicated to provide their services to visitors, where they were emphasized that due to their functions, they are in constant contact with tourists, so they must ensure their safety and that of their families. They were also reminded that this service is free, so they only need to present their ID card number to access the benefit. The National Police of the Archipelago Department, through its Prevention and Citizen Education Group, carried out activities to promote and disseminate the 155 hotline for women victims of violence, with the aim of encouraging citizen reporting and the care route in cases such as these, through door-to-door visits and talks to women by uniformed officers seeking to reduce this crime. The Corallina Environmental Corporation participated in the launching of the project 1 Million Corals for Colombia, which seeks the cultivations of coral fragments in order to recover 200 hectares of coral reef in Colombia, including 500,000 in the archipelago of San Andres, Old Providence, and Santa Catalina, as a strategy to increase the country's live coral coverage. This restoration will involve the participation of fishermen and local organizations that, under a system of acknowledgements, will contribute to the sustainable development of the country.